Hi everyone, my name's Sloan. I make makeup, fashion, and lifestyle videos. If you guys like content like that, consider subscribing. And if you're not new, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be doing my top 10 Netflix TV show recommendations. I love all of these 10 shows so much with all of my heart. I binge watched all of them myself personally so many times, a couple times for a few of them actually, but I didn't want to put just random shows on this list that I haven't watched myself or don't enjoy myself. So these are my top 10 Netflix recommendations TV show wise. Without further ado, let's just get started with the list. Just to put this out there, none of these shows are ranked 1 through 10 or ranked in any order or anything like that. These are just my top 10 favorite TV shows on Netflix that I wanted to put in this video. So my first TV show recommendation is The Flash. Okay, so I'm going to explain all of these shows the best of my ability because I have seen all of them and I've actually rewatched this show multiple times. So I'm going to try to explain it the best I can. So basically what the show The Flash is about is main character Barry Allen, aka The Flash. As a young boy, his mom was murdered, sadly, and it was sadly also pinned on his father. Later to find out that he did not end up doing it, committing the crime. The father had nothing to do with it actually. He later grows up to be a crime scene investigator, and there is this company called Star Labs that is a big thing and based around kind of on the show. So Star Labs built this machine called the Particle Accelerator. One day there is a really big storm going on outside, and it's also the night that the Particle Accelerator was going to be turned on, I guess. Also while the big storm's going on, and Barry Allen is struck with lightning that gives him superpowers, aka turns him into the Flash and gives him super speed. So throughout the show, he is fighting crime in Central City. That's the city that they live in in the show. He works with the team from Star Labs. They fight crime and other people that were given superpowers from the Particle Accelerator that one night. But he is also trying to figure out who actually murdered his mother when he was younger, and yes, that is what The Flash is about. My next Netflix TV show recommendations is the show Atypical. I feel like a lot of people actually haven't heard of this show before, but it is on Netflix and I found it myself either a couple months ago or maybe last year, I think. And I actually really enjoyed it. It's kind of a different show. I haven't really seen many shows at all kind of have a show based around this topic, but I'm just going to be reading a description from Google, what Google describes this show as. So Google's description for this show says, "This heartfelt comedy follows Sam, a teenager on the autism spectrum, who has decided he is ready for romance. In order to start dating and hopefully find love, Sam will need to be more independent," which also sends his mother on her own life-changing path. She and the rest of Sam's family, including a scrappy sister and a father seeking a better understanding of his son, must to adjust to change and explore what it means to be normal. So that was the description that Google gave for this show, and I would say it describes it pretty well. So that is what the show Atypical is about. My next TV show recommendation is the show On My Block. I know a lot of people know about this show probably, and it is a great one. It's a great comedy series. It has, I think, 2 or 3 seasons on Netflix currently out. I really enjoyed the show. It has some comedy, some drama, some romance thrown in there, I would say. But I think it's a really good show, and I know a lot of other people do too. I wanted to put this in the video. I'm going to be reading another Google description for the show, by the way. It says, "On My Block follows a quartet of bright, street-savvy friends who are navigating their way through high school, including all of the triumph, pain, and newness they experience along the way. Lifelong friendships are tested as Monse, Ruby, Jamal, and Caesar confront the challenges and adolescence and life in their predominantly Hispanic and Black neighborhood in South Central Los Angeles in this coming-of-age comedy series." So that is what On My Block is about. It is a great comedy series, like I said, and this show is really good for teenagers like me. I'm 17. The next TV show recommendation is the show All American. This is one of my favorite shows right now on Netflix and just in general. I love the show so much. It's so freaking good. I definitely recommend y'all should watch this show. The genre I would put it in is like sports and drama, which is honestly kind of funny that I like this show so much because I'm not athletic whatsoever. I'm not in any sports. I'm like musical and artsy. I'm not athletic at all. So I'm not really into sports like that, but I actually love this show a lot. Like I said, it's one of my favorite shows. I'm going to read the Google description again. So the Google description says, Spencer James, the main character, is a rising high school football player and an A student at South Crenshaw High. But when Coach Billy Baker recruits him to join his team in Beverly Hills, Spencer's mother Grace and his best friend Coop convince him it's an opportunity he has to seize. Forced to move in with Billy and his family to protect his transfer permit to Beverly, Billy's son Jordan, who is also the starting quarterback, is less than thrilled to be sharing his father's attention or the team spotlight. While Spencer struggles to find his footing, he makes an unlikely friend in Jordan's sister, who is struggling with her own demons. So that was the description for All American, one of my favorite shows right now. It is so freaking good. Definitely would recommend this show for guys and girls watching this. An amazing show, great cast. It's so entertaining, great plot, and oh, by the way, I almost forgot to add this in there, but is also based on a true story. So that's also really cool. It's a great show. So go watch it. The next TV show recommendation is my next TV show recommendation is the show called Criminal Minds. I feel like a lot of people do know about this show again, but it is one of my favorite shows on Netflix and just in general again. It is such a good freaking show. There's so many good shows on this list. Again, these are my top 10 favorite shows, so that would make sense that they're all really good. Criminal Minds is, let me read the Google description once again. So the Google description says, an elite squad of FBI profilers analyzes the country's most twisted criminal minds, anticipating the perpetrator's next moves before they can strike again. Each member of the Mindhunter team brings his or her expertise to pinpoint predators' motivations and identify emotional triggers to stop them. The core group includes an official profiler who is highly skilled at getting into the minds of criminals, a quirky genius, my favorite character by the way, the former media licensor, I don't know how to say that word, I'm sorry, who manages to adeptly balance family life and the job, and a computer wizard, another one of my favorite characters on the show, by the way. Just a disclaimer, this show is not, I would not recommend this show for like little kids, like below 13. I would say this is probably for a more mature audience. If you don't like crime shows or like violence, this show does have some violence and it's a little bit offsetting, and it goes into the criminals' minds and like kind of acts out some actual crimes that went on and all of that stuff. So if you don't like that stuff or it kind of disturbs you, it is a little disturbing, but I think it's really interesting, and it also has some comedy in there too, so it's not all bad or anything, but it's one of my favorite shows, and I would highly recommend it if you were like in your later teens or an adult. I would highly recommend this show. The next TV show recommendation is again one of my favorite TV shows. A lot of the shows on this list that I am recommending to you guys are a lot of my favorite shows in general and on Netflix. So next on the list is the show Vampire Diaries. I know a lot of people know about this show and it's really popular, or at least it used to be. I don't know if it still is or not, but again, it's one of my favorite freaking shows. It's so good. It's a drama, romance, supernatural show. If you guys like supernatural shows like that, I would highly, 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 highly recommend this show. It has 8 seasons on Netflix. Let me read the description for you guys. Google's description of this show says, "The Vampire Diaries is the story of 2 vampire brothers obsessed with the same girl in a small town with more than its share of supernatural beings. Elena Gilbert, which is played by Nina Dobrev, I think that's how you say your name, I'm sorry if I said it wrong, but Elena Gilbert has always been a star student, beautiful, popular, and involved with school and friends. As the fall semester begins, Elena becomes fascinated with the mysterious new boy in school, Stefan Salvatore. She has no way of knowing he is a centuries-old vampire. While Stefan struggles to live peacefully among humans, his brother Damon is the embodiment of violence and brutality." I don't know if I would fully agree with that or not. They're exaggerating a little bit on that. Now these 2 vampire brothers, one good, one evil. Stefan is considered the good brother, and then Damon's considered the bad evil brother, are at war for Elena's soul in the small town of Mystic Falls, Virginia. So that's what Google's description says about the show. In Mystic Falls, they have lots and lots and lots of supernatural creatures, all type of supernatural creatures. They have vampires, obviously, they have witches, werewolves, hybrids. There's so many, I don't know. Those are just some in the show. There's so many though. A really good drama and supernatural show. If you guys like supernatural shows like that and you haven't seen it yet, I would highly recommend it. It's one of my favorite shows. This next TV show recommendation is called Legacies. It's kind of a spin-off sort of thing from the Vampire Diaries that we just talked about, and I'm going to read the description from Google. It says, "The town of Mystic Falls," it's also set in Mystic Falls, Virginia as well. So the town of Mystic Falls has a new generation of protectors in the spin-off of the Vampire Diaries and the originals. The Salvatore School for the Young and Gifted is home to Klaus Michelson's daughter, Hope, Alaric Saltzman's twins, Lizzie and Josie, and other young adults who are coming of age as witches, vampires, and werewolves, nurtured to be their best selves and overcome their villainous impulses. Together, they rely on ancient folklore and tales how to battle their far-reaching enemies and attempt to keep balance in the world. So that's what it says Legacies is about. Again, I would mainly say that described the show pretty well. The second to last TV show recommendation is, again, one of my favorite shows. It is Gilmore Girls. I'm again rewatching this show for like the 4th time. It has a good amount of seasons again. I'll put it on the screen if I can figure out how many seasons it has. So freaking good. It's such a cute little quirky show. Basically what the show is about, the best way I can describe it myself from watching it multiple times. Basically what the show Gilmore Girls is about is it has the 2 main characters, Lorelai and Rory, her daughter. So Lorelai Gilmore is the mom on the show of Rory Gilmore. She was a teen mom. She had Rory at 16, and Rory is this straight A student, super smart, loves school, loves everything school. Her dream is to go to Harvard. Rory ends up going to this preppy rich school that is like 30 minutes away from their house. Going back to Lorelai, her mom, Lorelai's parents are very well off, they're rich, so they have like a really nice house and they got money, but they're kind of rich and snobby, and the only way that Lorelai can afford to send Rory to this preppy rich school that Rory have dreamt of going to further her education, Lorelai had to ask her rich parents that she left their house when she got pregnant with Rory. They only see each other on holidays, so they don't really see each other that much. Lorelai's parents finally agree to basically her parents paying for Rory's education at Chilton, but there is a deal that they made between Lorelai and her parents. The only way that they were going to pay for Rory's education at Chilton was going to be if Lorelai and Rory both go to weekly dinners on Fridays at Lorelai's parents' house, so they can see them every week on Fridays and have dinner with them and keep in touch with them, see how they're doing and how everything in their life is going. And last but not least, we are finally at the last show on the list for my top 10 Netflix TV show recommendations. And I saved the best for last. Yes, I did. So my last TV show recommendation on Netflix is the show Julie and the Phantoms. It is a newer Netflix original and it is so good. I don't think a lot of people know about this show because it's kind of newer. I think it came out in maybe 2019. So 2 years ago. I might be wrong on that, so don't quote me. But I recently found it a couple months ago and I absolutely am obsessed with this show. When I tell y'all I'm obsessed, I'm not being dramatic. I'm actually obsessed. I follow so many fan accounts on Instagram for Julie and the Phantoms. I follow all of the characters on Instagram. I just love the whole cast. It is a great comedy, romance, supernatural show. And it is just a cute little quirky comedy, drama, romance show. Oh, and also it's a musical, by the way. I don't know how I almost didn't mention that. It's a musical. They sing a lot on the show. Combines supernatural and musical. Combined it, you get Julie and the Phantoms. So if you guys either like supernatural shows or musicals, or you like both, you'll love the show just like me, and I'm about to describe right now. So basically what the show is about is the main girl character named Julie. A year ago from present day on the show, Julie's mom passed away, so it is just now her dad and her younger brother. But in 1995, the boy band group called Sunset Curve, 3 boys that are also the main characters on the show. In 1995, the boy band Sunset Curve just got done practicing their set for soundtrack before performing at this big place that I guess a lot of bands perform at in the LA area where the show is based in, called the Orpheum. So they were planning on performing that night at the Orpheum. After they practiced their soundtrack, and they went to go get some sketchy street dogs, hot dogs from the street, I guess, and they ate them, and I guess they had food poisoning or something. So the 3 guys from the boy band Sunset Curve passed away that day. And then fast forward to present day on the show, Julie is cleaning up her mom's old music studio, I guess, and she goes looking around the place for some of her mom's old stuff, and she finds this CD that says Sunset Curve on it. She puts it in the CD player and starts listening to it, and then all of a sudden the 3 guys from band Sunset Curve pop up in the real world as 3 ghosts. And basically the rest of the show is Julie helping the 3 now ghost guys from the band Sunset Curve to help them be able to perform their music, which they never got to because they died before they could ever play the Orpheum. And then the 3 ghost boy band guys get to help Julie find her love for music and life again. This show, Julie and the Phantoms, might be my favorite show at the moment. Deadass, not even being dramatic. It is so good. 10 out of freaking 10, man. I think this show is very underrated. I don't think a lot of people know about it yet because it is somewhat newish. So if you have not seen this show, I would 10 out of 10 highly recommend this show. It is so good. It currently only has 1 season out right now, but hopefully there should be a season 2 soon coming out. I am really hoping so because I am obsessed with the show and I love it so much, and it's just a cute, hilarious, good plot, amazing show. And those were my top 10 Netflix TV show recommendations for you guys. That was the video. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, give it a thumbs up and subscribe down below. I post new videos every Sunday. Also, don't forget to click the bell icon down below just so you get notified every time I post a new video. If you guys would like to follow me on any of my social medias, they will all be linked in the description box down below. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!